Alright, first off, I'm going to show you how to put a piston in. Use a ring compressor. If you like what you see here, please tell me in the comments. If there's anything I'm doing wrong or anything I could do better, tell me in the comments. If you stay till the end of the video and you like what you see, subscribe to me. I apologize, I did not get a video of pulling the last cylinder. I did promise that on a video that I was going to show you pulling a cylinder sleeve step by step, and I was on the last one, and I took video of it. It was like 16 minutes. I'd edited it down to about 8 minutes, and I didn't think the file size was too big, but for some reason I could not get it to save on my device, and I could not get it to directly upload successfully, so I apologize for that. But if you put the pieces together from the other videos, I'm sure you can figure out what I did. You know, I verbally explained how to pull a cylinder. I just didn't actually show you. So now I'm going to show you how to, you know, or at least how I put a piston in. And I've got all these at the top. And being that it's a 4-cylinder and the firing order is 1, 3, 2, 4, that makes it to where you can lay the crankshaft flat. No rod journals are up. So if you lay it flat like that, you know, looking down in the bores, you can put all the pistons in and then push them down one by one with an assistant, which would be my wife, pushing down on the top and guide it to the journal it needs to be in and torque it properly. So I'm going to try to make this one quick and not too lengthy. Another thing, a good tip is always put your rod bearing in before you put your piston in. I've made that mistake in the past. Then you're trying to reach around the crankshaft to put it in. So it's already pre-lubed with my engine assembly grease, that bearing, and the rest. I put assembly grease in this. Some guys use engine oil. I like the assembly grease because then it doesn't scratch your tool. If you were not replacing liners and this was a regular engine, gas engine, whatever, without liners, you'd want to use a ridge reamer, because otherwise you'd nick your rings up trying to put them in. So I've got to... Another thing you want to do, if you look on this piston, see if I can make sure you can get that, there's holes in that oil skirt. Well, it's missing a hole where the pin is, the piston pin. So you line your oil rings up with that. And that's just for proper, you know, oiling and to make sure oil doesn't hang around too long and you get oil consumption and things like that. Then you stagger your rings so that no ring gaps line up. And to me, honestly, I've taken classes for automotive to where the rings actually spin in the engine. They're not going to stay there. But what you wouldn't want to do on a fresh engine is have the gaps lined up because they wouldn't seat properly. You'd constantly be having blow by and not successfully get the rings to seat and seal. So I set the piston down like this, like that, and that gives you a good base to work on. And then you just slide this over and you start cranking this down. Now I did go buy a new one of these. I have some old ones, but again, they're scratched up, and yeah, so for this engine and what we're going to be using it for, I want it to be as best as possible, at least the block. The head, I decided I'm not going to rebuild it. I talked to a few international guys, and they said the cracked pre-cups, pre-combustion chambers is pretty common, and it shouldn't be a worry, which surprised me. But then again, I'm not a diesel mechanic, and I haven't done a whole lot of diesel work other than on Volkswagens. Not all engines, but some engines will be marked, and some engines, the rods will only go in one way, as well as the pistons. These pistons and rods, doesn't matter which way you put them in, they're not even stamped in the words on the top aren't even all in the same spot. But I know, since I took it apart, that the stamping was on this side of the tractor, so that's where I'm going to put it back. And you place this down, try to get this centered over the bore. Now what you don't want to do is this. You don't want to put it down by hand because that will cut the crap out of you. So we're going to grab our handy rubber mallet again. Again, like I said in previous videos, I always wipe a rubber mallet off when you're working on an engine to keep foreign matter from flying into where you don't want it to. All this will be cleaned again before final assembly, you know, as far as putting the head on, but you just gently tap her down. Another thing, which this thing's just about in, and it is. Another thing, if you have a ring slip out of your ring compressor, don't ever try to just take the compressor loose and recompress it. Your best bet is to pop it back out and reassemble it in the compressor. So we're going to get this final cleaned, get the rods torqued. Mains are already torqued, bearings already replaced for it, and continue on with the project for my wife's hay tractor this year. Like I said, if you watch this long, tell me if you saw anything I didn't do or you'd like me to do or whatever. One other note is these were file fit piston rings, so I fitted these in the rings individually. That's why the cylinders are marked. I did the rings first, marked the ring package, put them on a piston, marked the piston, and then put number 1 on number 1 connecting rod, just to make sure everything matches and everything's flush. So thanks. I guess stay tuned for the next one.